Our special interview today is with someone who is at the center of the nation's attention. We have with us former Speaker and now presidential candidate of the opposition, Meira Kumar, who has just filed her nomination this morning, backed by 17 opposition parties. Ma'am, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. And of course, we have a lot of young students because the presidential election, while it's not a direct election, it has, especially this time and in recent years as well, captured the imagination of the nation. So I think a lot of people have a lot of questions about this, and it has become very contentious and full of headlines as well. I want to start with one statement, ma'am, which we heard you make and assert repetitively, and which has become the big headline story when they're talking about your candidature, ma'am. You have said that this is not, take this whole Dalit issue and bury it. This is not a Dalit versus Dalit fight. What made you say that?
First of all, let me thank you for coming to interview me, and I want to thank all the young students who are here. You're most welcome to my house. I'm so happy. In fact, I feel very energized that you are here. Now you've come to a very crucial point which pertains to this election, the polity, the social fabric, and the mindset of the people of India. We are in the second decade of the 21st century, and when a presidential election happens, people talk of Dalit versus Dalit. It's like in any other country, if they talked of racism, if they talked of apartheid, then we would condemn it. But here they are talking Dalit versus Dalit. I think it is very shameful. I think the young people would agree with me. Dalit, it is a class which has suffered historical collective trauma because of historical collective prejudice against it. And I think that prejudice must be buried so that this particular section of the society comes out of the trauma. Another thing I just wanted to elaborate,
of course,
is that in the past there have been presidential elections where both sides have fielded candidates of the so-called upper caste. Nobody ever raised a single voice about their caste. They talked of their qualifications, their ability, their experience, their achievements. Nobody mentioned caste. But when my illustrious opponent and I contest, then the first thing, everybody, the air in India is buzzing that for the supreme position of India, two Dalits are fighting. Is that how it should be?
Ma'am, some people would say that, you talk about, this is the second decade in the 21st century. Some people would say, but they are still facing, Dalits are still facing a lot of discrimination, and the only way to deal with it is to talk about it, and a lot of people felt that, having a Dalit in the, and we've had one before too, Dr. K.R. Narayanan was the first Dalit president, and even at that time it was talked about. So many people, and that is why perhaps the media is interested as well. But ma'am, when you say that don't look at it as a Dalit versus Dalit fight, isn't being a Dalit part of your identity, ma'am?
I'm very proud of being a Dalit. I'm very fortunate that I'm a Dalit. And you'd ask me why. Because being a Dalit, I'm born with a certain sensitivity which others might have to acquire. How it is to suffer, how it is to get humiliated, how it is to get insulted, how it is to be rejected. That sensitivity I acquire because I am born a Dalit. So I am very proud of it. That doesn't mean the society should always be referring to me as a Dalit in a different connotation. Yes, they should not look at me as a Dalit aspiring for a position which is not reserved. That's another thing which is making everybody very anxious, because everybody thinks that a Dalit should only be aspiring for a reserved position. So this is another reason.